Hello and welcome to a new segment on this channel called Film Reviews. And in it, guess what we're going to be doing? We're going to be doing my taxes. No, we're going to be reviewing films. This is going to be a new segment. What I'm going to be doing is reviewing films, probably more often than not doing a theme every month, like Wednesday Westerns, or Sci-Fi Saturdays, or something like that for a full month, and then you get like 5 or 6 films. And I'll go completely random, from terrible films to new ones, to old ones, to great ones, to everything in between. And I will take requests and whatnot, but I'm going to probably get that all together for February, as it is January right now. I did, and I'm probably one of the last people to see it, I did go see Star Wars The Force Awakens yesterday, and I wanted to give my 2 cents on the film without giving any spoilers away, because there may be about 2 or 3 people that live in a cave not far from my own that have seen it, that have not seen it yet. So I'm not going to give away any spoilers in this. If you want a spoiler review, I will give one. But otherwise, I just want to kind of give my 2 cents on the actual production and on the story and whatnot, but without giving anything away. Okay, first of all, how was the film? It was a fun movie. It brought back that 1930s Flash Gordon serial feel again, and it felt like a fun serial film, and that's the way it should feel. I mean, it was an adventure, and you had a lot of interesting characters. And we'll get into how interesting they were. Interesting characters, which I felt for, and they were on an adventure. And they took the new characters, and they really built up, they drove the story with the new characters, and they took the old characters and put them in good places, with a little bit of fan service there. But they took they took the older characters from the original trilogy and helped the story along with them. And I thought that was great. That was a great idea. Now, some of the fan service, I didn't mind. The fact, and you haven't seen this, isn't a giveaway here, Admiral freaking Akbar is back, and it's the same freaking voice. Okay? It is the same actor. It's amazing. I love that. That's a little fan service right there. You know, and he didn't say anything was a trap, but hey, it's freaking Admiral Akbar, man. He's a freaking squid. It's great. And he's not even CGI. That's another thing. There wasn't too much CGI in this film. There was enough of it to really clean up some of the stuff. And one of the things they did was they did a lot of CGI with the Millennium Falcon. And that's okay, in my opinion. I'm a lover of the old model shots. And I think some of those model shots from Return of the Jedi are, to this day, some of the most beautiful special effects ever made. But that being said, they did things with the Millennium Falcon in this movie that they couldn't do before. What I loved was in A New Hope, the Falcon was sort of like the sports car. You know, it was the cool ship. And then in the second movie, it kind of had a little character to it because it keeps breaking down. You know, you realize it's just a piece of junk that he has to keep going, keep it going. And then in the third film, it's almost like his girlfriend, basically, and he lets Lando fly it, and he becomes the hero. But in this film, it's literally another character. The CGI allows the Millennium Falcon to become its own character. It does a lot of things. I mean, it's hitting the ground, it's bouncing off of things, it's being, it's in rough shape, but I mean, it's one of these things where it has its own personality, literally, in the movie. And I think that was a great idea. If that was J.J. Abrams' idea, then golf clap to you, my good sir. That was a brilliant idea. Let's talk a little bit about the characters in the film. First of all, the new characters, because the new characters are all interesting. In fact, I was talking to somebody about this, and this is how invested I was in the characters. Okay, Max von Sydow is in the film for about 3 minutes at the beginning of the film. I'm not giving anything away. He's in the film for about 3 minutes, and he maybe has 4 or 5 lines, and that's it. Okay? I was more invested and interested in his character than I was in Samuel L. Jackson's character in the 3 films of the prequels. Okay, and that's nothing against Samuel L. Jackson. I think Samuel L. Jackson's an awesome actor. He had nothing to work with those films, and I felt that he was really wasted. In fact, the only time I ever felt anything was when they killed him off. I was like, oh, thank God, Sammy can get his paycheck and go home and go watch a movie and go do a movie and do a lot of MFers because that's what he does best. And be a big bad MFer and do his thing. And he just was not. No, Mace Windu was not that. I was never invested in Mace Windu. But Max von Sydow's character, was it Lor San Tekka? You know something? I was invested in that guy for the 4 minutes he was on screen. So, but the new characters, Kylo Ren, who's the new villain, the new Darth Vader character, played by Adam Driver. He kind of has this emo. He's not the badass that Darth Vader was, and he knows it. And he plays off this like almost bratty emo character, and you understand it. It's not like the prequels where Anakin was supposed to be emo, but he wasn't. This guy really is, and I mean, he has temper tantrums where he just takes his lightsaber and just destroys rooms because he's just pissed off. He has no control over himself, and I like it. I like it. He has a great look, a great outfit, and the reason he wears the mask is great, and I'm not going to give it away. If you've seen the film, you know why he wears the mask. It's not because he's all, gruesome and cut up. He doesn't need that. He doesn't need that. This is not about that, okay? It's about, dominance. That's what it's really about. I felt that was a great idea to have this guy in there, and he's a great character and a great villain. You don't really feel sympathy per se for him, but you kind of understand him because everyone's gone through that little phase where you're angry at everything, and it made just perfect sense. Daisy Ridley played Rey. She was great. She really was great. She just lit up the screen. And, it's one thing to just be a lovely lady and everything like that, but, she just plays a tough character who really, really is the journey is through her. And this whole trilogy is going to go through her character, I think, because it's a great... she does something in this film that would have never happened in the prequels, and it was really real. Let's just say there's a very important object that is offered to her. It takes a great deal of responsibility and everything to take it, and she cowers away and runs away. Doesn't take it. Doesn't accept responsibility right off the bat or anything like that. She runs away, and that's important. Because that's what a real person would do when put into a situation like that. If you've seen the film, you know what I'm talking about. I think she really hit the nail on the head. I think the casting of the part was perfect. John Boyega as Finn, great performance. You felt for the guy. You understood what he was going through, and he was just great, just great. Oscar Isaac as Poe Dameron. I look at the guy, and to tell me if I'm the only one here, I think he looks like a young Bruce Campbell from like Evil Dead, the first Evil Dead. He has that curly hair, and I kept looking at him like Bruce Campbell's flying a freaking X-wing. This is the greatest thing ever. So when they make the Bruce Campbell biopic, this is the guy that's got to play Bruce Campbell. I'm just saying. Andy Serkis had a very small. He played the leader, supreme leader Snoke. He wasn't really much in the film. He's something that's going to be built up from it. The one little everything I have that's bad to say about the film is nitpicky, and his character is very nitpicky in the fact that his character is completely computer generated, and I don't have a problem with that. As long as you mix a lot of regular and computer generated, it's fine. But it was a badly rendered character. He looked like Gumby, okay, like evil Sith Gumby. Now I understand, like the Lord of the Rings films. You watch the first Lord of the Rings film; they have one scene with Gollum, and he doesn't look anything like the regular Gollum, and he looks terrible. I'm guessing that Supreme Leader Snoke is going to look better in the other films. So I'm a believer in that. Let's see here. There was see Domhnall Gleeson as General Hux. He has this great monologue, just a evil person monologue right there. Captain Phasma, Gwendolyn Christie. If you're really expecting a lot from that silver stormtrooper, you may want to lower your expectations. I'm not saying anything there, but okay. Lastly, with the new one, Lupita Nyong'o, Maz Kanata is the name of the character. Beautiful, beautiful CGI character. A lot of the face motion, a lot of the eyes and everything looked beautiful. And the voice was perfect. Now, as far as the older cast members, this is probably the best I've seen Harrison Ford in years and years and years. And you know something? From a performer point of view, you can tell when a performer is enjoying his or her work. You can tell if someone's miserable, and you can tell when somebody is really loving what they're doing. And just from what I could see, it looked like Harrison Ford was just having a blast. He was having so much fun out there. And he was willing to do all kinds of crazy stuff in this movie. I really, really loved him in this film. He probably gave it the best performance I've seen since Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade. I mean, the Crystal Skull one I thought was okay, but I just felt he looked old. Here he looked old, but he was Han Solo, and it was great. Carrie Fisher, I know a lot of people were talking about she looks old. Well, that's because she is old. She took all that cocaine, and that's what it does to you, kids. But as far as playing a character and everything, she's still got it. She's just amazing. I would love to go to like one of these what are they? The conventions, and just listen to her for hours, because she is just the most fascinating, wonderful. Read her books, because they're great. Okay, Carrie Fisher was really on top of her game in this episode. Yes, she's only in like the second half, maybe the last third of the film, but she does what she's supposed to do. One of the nitpicky things is the last scene of her in the film. She has this really ugly hairdo. I don't like the last hairdo she has. If you see, the little things are the things that bug me. Of course, Anthony Daniels does play C-3PO, and he does have a small part right there. Does very well. Peter Mayhew, okay? Peter Mayhew is, he's 7'3", 7'4". The guy is walking with a cane now. He can hardly move, okay, in real life, okay? He needs a hip replacement. His knees are shot and everything like that. But let me tell you something. If you like Chewbacca, this is your movie. Peter Mayhew does such a good job of just creating this character, okay? Because all the hero shots, are him. He does have a stunt double that runs around and does like all the running around and stuff like that, because Peter Mayhew really can't do that. He emotes. He does the whole thing with the head jerking and everything. This is a beautiful performance by Peter Mayhew. This is probably the best Chewbacca film of all of them. No doubt about that. Okay, enough about the cast there. I will give you one little piece of the storyline here. It's not going to be a give it away. I'm not going to be spoiling anything. The first line on the text crawl at the very beginning kind of explains the whole thing. The whole film can be tied up in the first line right there. It says, Luke Skywalker has disappeared. And that's the truth. That is, basically, it's the search for Luke Skywalker when a bunch of other stuff happens in the process. And, Mark Hamill, if you're a huge Mark Hamill fan, you might be a little disappointed. He does show up, but it's very late in the film. That's all I'll say. but it is the search for him. The main story is it's kind of like Wrath of Khan in that when he's not on screen, they're all talking about him. So yes, he is a major character in the film because they keep talking about him. But he's a major part in that. But that's the story right there. It's really the search for them. You've got your whole thing with the first the First Order and the rebellion, the resistance. I'm sorry, it's a resistance in this. I think everybody really it's like I said, a very, very fun film, and it moved right along, and I really did enjoy it a great deal. Right now, what is it, 8.5 on IMDb, and it deserves it. It really does. Okay, what about little things about the film? A lot of people are talking about how it's story-wise very similar to A New Hope. Well, A New Hope is really a very basic storyline, okay? It's almost like a chase movie in that, it's a very basic, okay, here, you put your characters here, you explain everything to them, and you give them people to help them go on their adventure. And basically that's the storytelling too. Yes, it is. I mean, they do have little things here and there. Apparently in this galaxy far, far away, they just love building these super weapons. But I don't have a problem with that. Like they say, there's only like 6 or 7 stories that have ever been told. They've been told a different way. I don't mind. I really don't mind. I don't think that affected my feelings on the film whatsoever. I thought the film was fine. It had a great feel to it. Let's see. There are characters who die. I'm not going to mention who. But they're meaningful deaths. Everything kind of is tied in a nice little bow at the end. They go and they have a huge climax, and like all the good Star Wars films, there's a huge climax, and they just sort of implodes on itself real slow and goes ahead and ties up all the loose ends in the storyline. So, what do I think of the film? All in all, on a 1 to 5 star rating, I give this one a solid 4.5 stars. There is a lightsaber fight, but and everyone's saying, oh, well, they should be flipping around like they do in the prequels and stuff. No. You've got to remember, there's only one Jedi in the entire universe, and I'll give something away. He is not in that fight. These are 2 people trying to survive and just going ahead and hacking at each other with lightsabers. And that's about all you can say about that. There is one scene in the film a lot of people don't like, and I'm just going to describe it real quick without giving away a lot of stuff. It's basically a day in the life of Han Solo. Because you never really saw what he did, all right, in the other films. You always heard about his adventures with Chewbacca and what they did while they were smuggling and stuff like that. Well, now you will have a chance to see it. It is a little bit off from the rest of the film, but I think, like I said, this is kind of fan service. This is your chance to see what this smuggler's life is like and how inept and terrible he is at it. And it has some cartoony things in it and stuff like that that's sort of a little bit off, but I appreciated it as a fan. Not as just as a movie watcher or something like that. I appreciated the fact that they had a scene in there as fan service to show you a day in the life of Han Solo. And I really did like that. I did like that. So would I recommend this film to people who have never seen Star Wars before? This is a great jumping on point. Check it out. If you're a Star Wars fan, obviously, it's a great film. As a movie watcher, just as a movie fan, check out this film. This has a great narrative and a great feel to it. I don't see like an Academy Award winning film or anything like that. No. It's a fun film. Check it out and let me know what you think down below. If you want me to do a spoiler episode, please let me know, and I will go ahead and hop up and do that. So in the meantime, I'll catch you on the next film review.